Unleash your lawyers, Bill Schaefer, Orlando, Joe Jackson, New York, Ann Bremner, high-profile lawyer, Seattle. Ann Bremner, will it fly?
You know, Nancy, I hate to say I told you so, but I've been saying all along that they should go with accident and that they will.
Yeah, not my question.
It's the only thing that'll fly. I know, but I had to get it in there that I did say it before and was kind of roundly dismissed. Okay, thank you. Just had to say that. But the thing is, yeah, it can, because there's only two ways to look at this evidence. One is she intentionally did it and she's going to get death, or another was it's an accident. And I'm thinking that with this extreme emotional disturbance defense and then using it as a mitigating factor in the death penalty phase, if it gets to that, that's the kind of combo.
Whoa, there is no extreme emotional disturbance. In fact, shrinks that have interviewed her have said roundly, yes, she's fine. So we don't have an emotional disturbance. So don't throw that into the stew, okay? Because that doesn't even exist.
But I think in the stew, it's something where they're basically talking about a potential abuse excuse and things like that.
Don't start up on George Anthony molesting her.
I'm not.
Okay, because I don't even want to hear that anymore, because that is not true.
But Nancy, I'm just telling you what I think they're going to do, and that's kind of the framework of disturbance, accident, and disturbance if it gets to death for mitigation.
We have one clue, and when the defense was first opposing the death penalty, a memo was created in which the defense state, an overly agitated, financially strapped mother seeking sleep might likely use an inexpensive, risky homemade anesthetic on herself. Chloroform. Using even poorer judgment, a mother might also administer this to quiet her child. Some parents, acting on pediatricians' advice, use drugs like Benadryl to keep children quiet on airplanes or help them sleep. Are they comparing the knockout drug chloroform to Benadryl?
Well, yeah, because it's a more common thing, or common medicine that we've heard about. But here's the deal. She may be your best evidence, Nancy. I mean, the fact that we all know she doesn't have to explain anything. The state has to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. She's the only one that knows what happened, and this shifts into negligence, a lesser manslaughter, accident, etc.
Yeah,
it's a whole
you're talking kind of crazy lawyer talk. If you could just answer
I'm not doing any crazy lawyer talk. It's just lawyer talk.
Explain. You're starting to talk about. I'm asking you, how do you explain the computer search? And you're saying, oh, this shifts into involuntary manslaughter. Explain.
No, but what I'm saying, all I'm saying is she doesn't have to explain, but I'll explain. How would she explain it? She used chloroform. She made a mistake. Broken neck, there's no evidence of a broken neck. What else do you have in terms of computer searches? Nothing. And you've got other things that you can explain away from her. When you just take the whole equation and shift it to accident, I'm here.
Ann,
yes.
It doesn't matter that Kelly did not have a broken neck that we know of. Her body was in so many parts. Her bones.
Why doesn't it?
I'm not sure that. I was finishing a sentence, and
okay, I'm sorry.
The fact that the cause of death was not that we know of broken neck, that means nothing. The computer searches is the crux of my question. How can those be explained away?
Well, that's what I was telling you, Nancy, is that there's no broken neck, then there's no significance of that being on someone's computer search. They don't have that in the case, so you don't need to explain it. But I'll tell you, I have to keep coming back to reasonable doubt. They don't have to explain anything, but they will apparently, and we'll hear the bombshell tomorrow in the beginning of their opening statement, and we'll know.
Because when you put forward an accident defense, that is what we call under the law an affirmative defense, Joe Jackson.
Sure.
And when you set forward an affirmative defense, such as insanity or accident, then you do take on a burden under the law, and you've got to prove accident. And I'm going to ask you, Joe Jackson, all three of you are great attorneys.